Look at this picture. Sam Altman said GPT-5 would be more reliable with a lower likelihood of hallucinating. So I tried a simple, real world test. I asked it to turn a photo of my daughter playing softball into an anime illustration. The result? I don't think it quite captured the moment. For those listening, it's a shot of her fielding a bunt at third and then firing it over the first. But the picture that came out, look at it. It has gloves on both hands. It came up with some random name across the jersey. I don't know, Tigers. And honestly, it really doesn't resemble the original photo. Now, that might not sound like a small thing, but this is the type of casual request everyday users are going to make. And when it misses in an obvious way, people wonder, how is this better? So, folks, welcome to Thriving in Ambiguity, where we make sense of tech's biggest complexities. I'm Steve Mancini, your host and partner in navigating today's toughest technology challenges. So here's where I landed on GPT-5. First, I think shipping GPT-5 was a necessary step. The product needed to be simplified. Most people don't want to pick between model names or even understand things like O1, O3 Mini, 4.5. So automatic model switching is real progress. It removes friction and makes the experience easier for casual users. So that's a start and it's a great win. But reliability is more than a tagline. It's not enough to say fewer hallucinations. Reliability means when you give it a normal task, you don't shit the bed. Two gloves is a mess. Forget all of the other little details that it completely forgot about. And while I've noticed some sharper reasoning in places as I've been using it, the reality is we're still far from perfect. So was it rushed? I don't know, probably. And I understand why. There is tremendous pressure to be first and to continue momentum. You don't want the market to think that you've stalled. We hear this all the time with Apple's lost its innovation. But when the story is it's smarter, it hallucinates less, and then it still does strange things, it undercuts trust. The gap between promise and reality is where frustration creeps in. And here's the thing, on paper, GPT-5 is getting better. Coding benchmarks like SWE Bench show real gains. In the real world coding test, it scored about 75% up from 69% in the last model. And it's way ahead of GPT-4, which was like 55%. And in math, it crushed the Amy exam at 94% accuracy compared to 89% on the O3 model. And even on the HMMT, another advanced math test, it jumped over 93%, which is a big leap from where it was in the mid 80s. Those are legitimate improvements. And for developers and engineers or anyone pushing the technical limits, that's exciting progress. But that's not most people. The average user isn't testing it on the Math Olympiad. They're asking it to summarize a report, draft an email, or in my case, make a funny picture of my daughter. And when it fails on those everyday use cases, all the benchmark scores in the world don't change that perspective. And to me, that explains why GPT-5 isn't getting the rave reviews that OpenAI probably hoped for. In fact, it tests really poorly on social intelligence. Things like conversational nuance, empathy, and sounding more human. GPT-5 scored lower than the competitors like Claude and Gemini. So while it's smarter in technical ways, it's still struggling with the simple human side of the interaction. And where my mind goes next is memory, because without continuity, without it remembering who you are, what you're working on, and how you like to interact, it's always going to feel limited. Now, OpenAI did take a step here. GPT-5 has a new memory feature that can remember your preferences across sessions. It can recall your name, your tone, and even let you customize how it responds, whether it's casual or analytical, whatever you choose. And you could toggle that off and on, and you can even delete memories that it captures. Under the hood, it's got a massive context window now, up to 256,000 tokens, and even 400,000 when it's going through the API. So that's a nice boost. And that's real progress. But to be honest, it still doesn't feel like memory in the way that people expect. You could tell it something today, and tomorrow it feels like a blank slate. It remembers pieces, but it doesn't feel like it remembers you. And that's what people want: continuity, not a new chat every time, but an assistant that carries context forward, that knows your projects, your style, and your preferences the way a friend would. And from my background in IT, I get it. Like, there's a lot of cost. Persistent memory at scale, it's not trivial. It's engineering, it's architecture, it's storage, it's privacy, it's compliance. It's a heavy lift. But if we want reliability, controlled memory is the future. The other piece is integration. Don't just chat with me. Connect into my system. I wanted to understand what's happening on my phone, my messages, in my documents. I wanted to have anchored answers in my data so hallucinations completely drop off. That's when AI stops guessing and really starts partnering with you. I also want to share the human side of this. And someone told me on LinkedIn this week, they said, I hate AI. It's coming for my job. And I understand that fear. But here's what I said: human creativity still matters. The difference between generic content and something meaningful is the human behind it. It's your voice, it's your perspective, it's your lived experiences. Those can't be replaced. AI can make the grind easier, but the heart of it still has to come from you. So here's my straight answer. Is GPT-5 progress? Yes. Is it the revolution that they promised? No, it's not even close. But that's okay. These are the growing pains of AI. They're necessary, they're messy, and sometimes they can be frustrating, but it's still progress. It's still moving forward. So if you've tried GPT-5, I'd love to hear your experiences, what worked for you, what didn't. Contact me on LinkedIn or email me directly at steve@thrivinginambiguity.com. And until next time, keep embracing the change, leading boldly, and thriving in ambiguity. That's all, folks.